Hello everyone, Robert Elbert Klein here. I hope this time with sound. I apologize. I used a new, relatively expensive microphone, and we've used it before and it's worked, but for some reason it didn't work, and I apologize. So for those of you that endured struggling to try to send me messages, then I have my phone on a horizontal plane, so I can't see that you're joining. I can't see the chat messages, and so I couldn't see. So I apologize. So it just shows that wisdom doesn't necessarily give you the smarts. I should know better. I should test things before. But I'm gonna just hold off on starting what I'm going to talk about. I don't get on here often very much anymore. Hopefully that'll change. But I do believe that what I'm going to talk about today is really super important. And the times have made it more important. It's always been important. It gets increasingly important, and now it's even more important. So I hope some of you will listen to the entire message here and take action. There's 2 calls to action that I'm going to suggest you do. 2. And you may want to write them down, but it's really, really super important for you and your family. So I want to get started. First of all, thank you, those of you that are going to listen to this and have listened to it. I appreciate you. I appreciate the honestly, the respect that I get that I don't deserve for being an expert when I'm really not. I'm just an amateur who never stops studying and never stops learning. But I want to talk about something that has become a theme for me. So it's a recurring theme. And if I ever do go back to college again, I will study and probably get a doctorate in the health and wellness study of the effect of substances, foreign substances in our bodies. So that's what I want to talk about today. And as time goes on with medicinal mushrooms, the research just continues to go on. It's gone on for over 1,000 years, over 2,000 years. It's documented. Depending on the country, there's an overwhelming amount of research that has gone on and is still going on. And one of the facets that is so interesting about these mushrooms is that they have the ability to detoxify. Now, the studies have been about detoxifying heavy metals. Well, what is a heavy metal? Well, heavy metal is copper or lead or aluminum. Even though aluminum is not look like a heavy metal, in the body it's considered a heavy metal. It's important to understand that the mushrooms, the process by which it does that detoxification is something that affects other substances as well. And I say thank God that it does, because what I want to talk about today is the overwhelming increase in substances that we expose ourselves to. We expose ourselves. We get to make a choice. And some of you, after hearing this, may say, well, no, it's impossible, I can't. I would have to agree with you. It's almost impossible to avoid, but you can. So let me pick one example of what I'm talking about with regards to substances. But first I want to give you sort of a word picture of the body. Sorry, I had a call come in and it stopped my video for a minute. The body is like a vehicle that we ride around in. It's $1 million vehicle. And the thing about a vehicle, let's say you've got a really nice car. It's brand new, it still smells new, it drives new, and you just begin to drop things on the floor or throw things in the back seat, or some people take little pieces of paper, reminder notes, and they stick them on the dashboard places, and some people hang things from the mirror, and other people have got in the door pocket, they put popsicle sticks and candy wrappers or whatever. And what if you never took that stuff out? You know, what if you had a philosophy that, okay, once a week, you know, as you're driving along, you open all the windows and let some of it blow out. You know, I mean, it's not going to get the stuff that's under the seats. It's not going to get the stuff that's in the glove compartment or hanging on the mirror. And I got to tell you, our bodies are the same way. At a certain point, these things build up in our body. I can prove it to you because you know, tattoos have gotten popular. Now look, that's an intentional injection of dye into your body. But how long does that last? Now let me explain something to you. Your body knows that's foreign. Your body is attempting to remove that. The tattoos. Many of you know that tattoos fade over time. So why would they fade? Why would they change? There's reasons why that happens. So now to take the $1 million car and our $1 million body, if you don't proactively take care of your car, because the same thing can happen to the engine of your car if you don't change the filter, change the oil. If you don't take care of your body the same way, similar things can happen. And they do. Now, our dilemma, and this is my theme, and I will sing this song probably until the day I die, is that we are exposing ourselves. We allow ourselves to be exposed to many, many, many substances that we don't necessarily need. I can give you some examples. If you look at infant little droppers of painkiller or liquid drops, what color are they? Why are they cherry flavored? Why are they red? Most children, infants, are colorblind until a certain age, and you're giving them something that's red. It's a real interesting phenomenon that we have. So it doesn't matter whether it's prescription drugs, or it's over-the-counter drugs, or it's foods, because there's a lot of substances in foods, artificial colors, artificial flavors, there's preservatives. Even ingredients that look to be healthy they're not. How many of these accumulate in the body? Where do they accumulate, and what kinds of possible damage can they do? Well, one topic that has been talked about and researched and proven is that there's certain substances that are carcinogenic. And you can get lists of those from the EPA, and yet just because they are known and just because that list is published doesn't mean it's not in things. We don't read the labels. We're not careful about what's in our water, where we get our water. Even bottled water can have things in it. It's really important for us to look at what's happening in our population. We're exposed to much, much more. If we aren't proactive, if we aren't, in essence, watching, driving the car, watching the store, so to speak, we can get ourselves in trouble. Before we know it, there can be such an accumulation that things begin to break down. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm just saying that because we are overwhelmed now. One example, right now it's important to disinfect. And so there was a shortage, so people got bleach to disinfect with. And in some cases, in some countries, you need to put a drop or so of bleach in a big thing of water to disinfect lettuce or other vegetables that you're not going to cook them, you're going to eat them raw. And that's been that practice for many, many years. You can buy the drops, or you can just take a couple of drops of the bleach. Well, it's very hard now to find bleach that doesn't have a fragrance in it. I know, because we've been trying to find it. And all I can say is that trend, I don't care if it's toilet paper with a fragrance, I don't care if it's fabric dryer sheets or fabric softener with a fragrance, or laundry detergent with a fragrance. If that fragrance is a substance and you're exposed to it in all these different types of products, your body may or may not like that. You may or may not like that. So in talking with people that study the immune system, one of the issues is the overactive immune system. What triggers an overactive immune system? Many of them think it's an accumulation of these substances. Now, by themselves, the artificial color in fresh organic carrots, may not be harmful. But when you add up all the other substances, all coming at us from different directions at the same time, in personal care items, in household chemicals, in yard and garden chemicals, in the pollution in the air, in whatever they're spraying here and there, in when you go in a store and whatever. All I can say is this is the theme that I will continue to study. There's two important points I want to leave with you. I'll call it a call to action. And we're blessed because the mushrooms detoxify. There's lots of studies about the value of medicinal mushrooms detoxifying your body. And I believe these 2 points are extremely important for people. First, that you should begin to move away from substances. I know a lady, we chat on Facebook. I don't know that maybe I've met her in person. She's like a second cousin to a second cousin. And she's very knowledgeable. And she says she makes her own household cleaners. She's so careful. And she buys organic produce and so forth. And I'm so pleased to know her because she is doing what I'm saying, moving away from substances. You don't need all the artificial colors and artificial flavors. You don't need all these preservatives. It's important to start a proactive approach to moving away from substances. The second is because that's you have control over the exposure. You have control. You just need to begin to think, okay, what's in this little deodorizer that I hang in my car? What's in this fragrance stuff that I use to blow my nose? What's in? I just have to tell you, it's up to you. You have to do it. That's step one. That's for you. It's important for you to do it first. Be the example in your family. They say when the oxygen mask falls down, you put it on yourself first, and then you help somebody next to you. You've got to help yourself first. Start a proactive program of moving away from substances. I'll give you one substance that is very difficult to move away from, that is purely chemical. It's called high fructose corn syrup. Try moving away from that one. That's a real challenge, but it's very important that you do it. The second point is that you embark on a way of life, a health style that fosters detoxification. I'm not going to get into all the ways that you can detoxify your body or how you can enter into a detoxifying lifestyle. Not in this video. I will. But the important thing is you can't just do one of these flushes and think you've done everything. It's important to change some habits that you have that have gotten you to where you are today. If you've got aches and pains, if you've got inflammation, these are because you have been following a lifestyle that leads to that. Now, it is somewhat not your fault, somewhat, but I'm telling you that it is your fault because you've neglected to know and study and control what you take, what you eat, what you wash with, what kind of chemicals get used in your home, what kind of pesticides do you use, what kind of snacks are you eating? Do you ever read those labels? Everything is in plastic now. What happens when we buy things in plastic bottles that sat on the shelf for a while? Do you think there's any possibility that some of the chemicals in the plastics have gotten into the foods? Why is it there's different types of plastics to specifically prevent that from happening? The ball is in your court. And I'm calling you to those two things. Start in the right direction of avoiding these substances. And start some kind of program to clean out your body, to get the stuff out of your body that has accumulated. Consider this like a public service announcement. You know, all of our products are detoxifying. All. But I'm not, this is not a pitch to get you to buy our products. I'm happy if you do, but that's not the point. That won't be enough. Hear me, that won't be enough. You've got to embark on a specific plan to avoid and continue a detoxifying program. Detoxifying involves the right kind of exercise. See, it's not just what you put in your mouth. There's a lot to it. But it's important that you do those two things. Why is it important? Every person on this earth is here for a reason, a purpose. That purpose is a divine purpose. You have a divine purpose. You have something left to accomplish or you wouldn't still be alive. You're here for a reason, and I would rather you be able to focus on that reason and feel good and feel healthy and feel strong and not be thwarted and prevented from working on your life's purpose because you're hurt all the time, you're depressed, you're sad, you're tired, you're exhausted, your joints hurt, your stomach hurts, you're overweight. I could go on and on. You have an important reason for being on this earth. So God bless each and every one of you. Those are the 2 points I'm calling you to. Start moving away from things that have substances. And you do it for yourself first. And then also detoxify your body as best you can. Clean it out so you can focus on your life's purpose. God bless everyone. Have a great day.